So at this point you are probably bored of looking at mid-range sword decks because everyone and their mother is playing one right now because it's the best deck, or one of the best decks at least. So today I'm gonna hopefully try to cleanse your palate with a more, well, extremely unconventional sword deck. It's built around Kagemitsu, but there's a lot of other weird things going on in the list, which you will see in a moment. But for now, yeah, we're playing some Kagemitsu and just testing out some unconventional sword lists while I'm still in Sapphire, because I dropped the Sapphire while testing other things out. So yeah, let's look at the deck list we're playing for today first. So this is the list we're playing for today, pretty weird and crazy list, so let's go down the line and explain things. So first we are running Kagemitsu, not because he's super good or anything, just because I like him, so I want to play him. So running some Kagemitsu, he has some interesting interactions with some of the other things we're doing in this deck. So yeah, and in accordance with that, we are running a very damage heavy list. So you can see we're not running any Amelia, we are running 3 Odin, 3 Tentacle, and 1 Centaur for damage, to pair with the Kagemitsu to end the game on around turn 7 or 8. That is the main goal. And you can of course end the game on turn 9 with Albert, so there's that. And then the other elephant in the room I guess I have to address is what's going on with these 2 cost followers. As you can see, very far from what you would expect in a sword list. The main gimmick I'm going for here is to make Rose guarantee Ignominious Samurai on at 0 cost. Plus, this will allow you to pair with things like Kagemitsu and Albert, stuff like that usually people stop with wards. You can just use Ignominious Samurai that costs 0 to break through it. And it sort of pairs well with the sort of offensive lean, I guess, is what I'm going for with this Ignominious Samurai. And then we're running Band of Battle Princesses, just testing it out. Also has a nice interesting pair with Kagemitsu on turn 7. In case you never manage to get Kagemitsu out, you can just play him super evil Band of Battle Princesses to get through whatever followers your opponent has. Punch your opponent in the face for 5. Just some stuff. Mainly I've just been seeing people running this card, so I've been trying it out as the goal. And then the 2 costs, you can probably be a bit flexible. I run Ruby here to try to find Kagemitsu early, as well as put Kagemitsu back if I don't need him anymore. Filda is of course the best 2-drop for neutral, and then we're trying out Sharetta as well. The ward has some pretty nice interactions with Kagemitsu. You can super evolve Kagemitsu and hide him behind Sharetta, and hopefully he stays alive. So there's that. And then we run 1 off Dark Side. I just wanted 1 more damage card, and this one was a bit funny because it can buff your followers or it can be used for removal, so it's a bit more flexible. So yeah, that's what we're doing with the list. It's obviously not a good list or anything, but it's pretty funny, so I wanted to try it out. So let's look at some games that I played with it. Our first match here is against Rune, and we are going second here. Rune is annoying because they have a lot of healing, but hopefully we can try to aggro them down because we're not winning in the late game. They have too many wards in the late game, I think. For the mulligan, Zirconia of course, then you want to keep 2 drops and Kagemitsu because those are the key of the deck. Fortunately, no 2 drops here, so we are a bit behind. Sort of force the coin out of Kagemitsu here just to not lose out too much on tempo. We don't really see a turn 6 play anyway, besides like Vows and Enhance maybe, so don't have to hold on too hard to that extra play point, but in this case I think it's just important to get followers out on board to maintain tempo. We'll use the Vows to clear the penalty while trying to stick this Vows on board to hopefully buff it with Zirconia, because that is how Sword works. Fortunately for me, my opponent doesn't manage to clear this Vow, so we are able to buff it with Zirconia to get some big damage in. While making a board, you can see this Kagemitsu actually, the coin Kagemitsu doing surprisingly well here, coming out right on my Zirconia turn to get buffed. So we can add an extra body to this super annoying board. Sort of force my opponent to play Sage Light if they have it. Looks like they don't have Sage Light this time though. So we'll go ahead and use their N and Greya. It will clear my Vows. And we can take this opportunity to set up Rose's 0 cost Samurai. We did build this deck to guarantee the 0 cost Samurai, so we do that. And then we sort of push the advantage here since we have quite a decent amount of damage in hand. We'll just Evo Face, hopefully pressure my opponent. It will clear my board with Sage Light though, which is quite annoying. And I'll counter the Kage here. We go ahead and just super evolve them in the face to try and kill them. If we can chip them down, we can set up lethal next turn or something with Albert. So that is what we're looking at right now. Unfortunately though, my opponent will have the Norman here, which they will use to heal 8 because Norman just gets to heal infinitely because he's Norman. And they are very far off lethal ranges right now, which is quite annoying. When you play, playing this Kagemitsu probably a questionable play. Should probably just try to put them down as low as possible without spending my super evo and try to finish them with Albert or something like that. But in this case, I decided to just build a board while clearing their Norman, but the opponent has another Norman, so a bit problematic, I guess, in that regard. I'm probably saving the super evil point for Albert Star wouldn't have given me lethal here, so that's a bit sad, I suppose. Another Kagemitsu, of course, but we don't have any more super evil points, so this Kagemitsu is quite useless. Just go ahead and coin Albert out to get face damage in while I can put them down to 5, which is tentacle range. So if they decide to go for a cooldown turn here to set a war, I will have already gotten Albert face, but my opponent just plays 8 otherwise, so that's fine. Hopefully they don't have any more healing, and it's like they don't. If my opponent had any more healing, like at some point you just have to accept that I'm not winning this game. Like 2 Normans, I already healed. They healed 16, I still killed them, so I think it's good enough for it. And this game is against Sword and we are going second. I am going second a lot in these games, but my deck's a lot worse than theirs, and it's a bad matchup inherently for an aggressive deck to go into the mid-range deck that Sword currently plays, so you gotta cut me some slack there, I guess. Anyway, unfortunately, no 2 drops here again, sort of bricking a little bit, but hopefully we can get out of it somewhere. My opponent does drop the Prim here, we just go ahead and pass. We could play Battle Princess to clear it, but honestly I don't really think it's worth the effort. It's better to save it for the Enhanced Fall, which can clear more bodies. Or actually use it here just to clear both instead. Sort of bait out the Nonya, I guess, was my plan. There is an argument for saving the extra play point for Gildaria instead, but you know, we are planning to go Zirconia here. My opponent probably has to spend their time clearing this Zirconia board, so the goal is to pull out of Rose to set up a 0-cost Samurai, which we can use later on. You can see here my opponent has a Zirconia of their own, which is mildly annoying, I guess. No good way to clear this, we just go ahead and use the Rose to pick out our 0-cost Samurai, and then we just hold it on. We could use it to clear here, but it's really not worth it. I think it's better to save it later on when it has Bane to get through a very annoying ward stopping my lethals. Just go ahead and Evo Phase here to try and kill them, because that is how you win the game. Opponent does have another Zirconia, which looks very scary, but Gildaria is broken, so we are not super worried. Go ahead and slap down the Gildaria here, and super Evo it to just nuke this entire board. I do miss trade here. I end up losing 1 Steel Knight. I could have saved the Steel Knight by trading it into the 1/1 Knight instead, so bit of a misplay here to keep in mind, I guess. Opponent will go ahead and use their Samurai to clear my Gildaria and then set out a bunch of wards, which is quite annoying. We'll just go ahead and tentacle them in the face. The idea being that if I top deck Albert, I win the game, so... And plus, I don't really want to spend Gildaria here. I wanted to invest more into the board before I use my Gildaria, since it's my second Gildaria and it's my Evo point. I can afford to take some damage probably. You can see it doesn't put me within Albert range or anything. And now that they've invested their super Evo point into this, we can go ahead and use Gildaria to clear out this entire board. You can go ahead and pair it with Charetta as well, since we held off for 1 turn, which should make this board much more sticky, assuming they don't have a Gildaria of their own. We'll go ahead and play Amelia here as well as have their own Gildaria, so I guess there goes my board. Thankfully they're not rally 20 yet, so they do have to spend their Evo point here, so now we're in a game state where neither of us have Evo points. I do have more damage probably, but on the other hand, my opponent has more Gildaria, so I guess it's up to you which one looks worse. Go ahead and try to draw deeper into our deck to find more lethal pieces, and we can go ahead and use Odin to get rid of Gildaria. And this 0-cost Samurai we've been saving the whole time comes in handy for stopping this Amelia right here. My opponent is running Jano, which is annoying for me, I guess. Jano is mainly good in the mirror and like honestly not really anywhere else, so... Anyway, we just go ahead and keep trying to draw into our deck for more lethal pieces because our hand is quite bad. Fortunately, still not picking out any of the good cards, so we'll just go ahead and get rid of the Jano here and just hit them in the face again to try and put them within lethal range of basically anything. Unfortunately, we are not running Quick Blader, so we can't just Quick Blader them to death here. You can see my opponent will go ahead and set up the Luminous Magus here for wards to stop me, so I really need to top deck the Albert right now. Unfortunately, we don't find Albert, so I go ahead and play the Vows for Enhance. If they have Albert here, I just lose, honestly, but like, at that point, what am I supposed to do, right? So, we just sort of pray they don't have Albert and they don't, so they go ahead and set up Vows of their own. And then here we do top deck the Rose, which is exactly able to clear these two wards. From my opponent's point of view, this probably looks like dumb luck, but we are guaranteed a Samurai because of the way I built the deck, so there's that. Our last game here will be against Abyss and we are going second. I mulligan with the expectation that it is going to be aggro Abyss, so a pretty standard start, just keep early game Vows to clear instead in case I need it. But a control or mid-range lists are also becoming more popular now, so a bit of a toss-up which one you're playing against. We go ahead and turbo out the Ruby here. The main reason is because if it's aggro, I don't want to let them get the board advantage, so I feel the need to play the Ruby here to get some advantage, I guess. Go ahead and use the Samurai to clear this Orthrus to hit them in the face though. Samurai is not super important in this matchup, I don't think, so just go ahead and use the clear. My opponent will connect with the Vuela, which is pretty expected, I guess. We can just go ahead and pop that with Vows, and hopefully the Vows sticks on board and we can buff it with Zirconia. Now Kagemitsu is a bit unfortunate, but this deck can still win without Kagemitsu, so it's not the end of the world or anything. Fortunately though, my opponent will use the Ghost to clear my Vows, but on the other hand, that's a Ghost that's not coming to my face, which is probably fine. Let me go ahead and just set up Zirconia board here. This board is quite strong because they can't clear with Aragavi alone. They'll have to evolve it if they want to use Aragavi here. My opponent will just use Mukan instead. Which will be able to clear my board with some advantage, but we just have Rose to clear this and set up our 0-cost Samurai as is the point of this deck. And then we can go to the Evo phase. It's a bit risky to Evo phase because they have a lot of healing, but I'm not winning the long game anyway without the late game cards the Sword usually has, so might as well just try to finish them as fast as I can. And for now, we'll go ahead and evolve the Orthrus here. They do get unlucky with the rolls here, but honestly it really does not matter because I can just use Gudara to clear their board no matter what. Which is what I do here. And clears the Gudara, set a board of my own that they have to answer. It's not like the most difficult board to clear or anything, but it should at least annoy them a little bit. Or that's the hope. Unfortunately, we are missing quite a bit of damage right now, which is not great, but hopefully my opponent's hand is not great either. I guess that's the hope. And they'll go ahead and use the Shadow Crit to clear my Steel Knight, which is a pretty weak turn from them, which I'm very happy with. At this point, I need to set up a lethal somewhere, so I just go ahead and Ravening Tentacle face. The main goal is 1 to leave my board empty and 2 to hit them down into Albert or Centaur range. Making my board empty makes it so they can't heal with Kerberos, but unfortunately my opponent is running Saras, so they will be able to heal anyway, so that's a bit annoying. They are still in Albert range though whenever I manage to top deck that. So we go ahead and just use the Samurai to get rid of their Saras, and then we'll just coin out Tentacles. Keep them in lethal range of any top decks to make sure that I have the highest chance of winning. And there's my opponent's Kerberos, but thanks to us leaving our board empty, they won't be able to heal off of their last words, so that's very good for us. And we top deck Kagemitsu, which is the dumbest but most fun, I think, lethal combo in this deck, which is Kagemitsu Super Evo with the 1 of Dark Side for the nice 7 damage lethal. That's it for this game. So those are all the games I have for you today. Obviously not the best deck in the world or anything, it's mostly a gimmick deck of things that I wanted to try out. Honestly, pretty fun for playing in like Sapphire rank. I actually did like pretty decently in there, although I had some nasty lose streaks as well because obviously this deck's not really good. Like, you're better off just playing standard mid-range decks. Even if you want to play a Kagemitsu base deck, you should probably run better 2 costs in this deck than whatever we have here. So yeah, definitely a lot of room for improvement if you're trying to play a good deck. But if you're just trying to have fun with a gimmick deck, this one's not bad. The guaranteed samurai is pretty funny, and I do kind of enjoy it. So yeah, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.